Join me as I take on the challenge of watching three girls change the course of a river forever. Meet Chaitanya, Kavya and Nirosha, three passionate girls who have always been concerned about the environment. But over time, the river was becoming increasingly polluted, with trash and debris littering its banks and waters. Erosion was also taking its toll, causing the river banks to collapse and threatening nearby homes. The girls knew they had to act, but they weren't sure where to start. They began to research, talking to local experts, and learning about the complex issues affecting their beloved river. They discovered that the river's problems were interconnected. Pollution was causing erosion, which in turn was affecting the local ecosystem. The girls realized that they needed to take a holistic approach to address these challenges. They started small, organizing local clean-ups and spreading awareness about the river's plight. The girls spent countless hours brainstorming ideas, gathering resources, and mobilizing their community to join the cause. They met with local leaders, secured funding, and assembled a team of volunteers. Their enthusiasm was contagious, and soon people from all walks of life were rallying behind their cause. Together, they hatched a plan to restore the river to its former glory. As the girls and their community began to take action, they started to see results. The river began to change course, slowly but surely. The water became clearer, and the wildlife began to return. It was a turning point. The girls' efforts were paying off, and the community was taking notice. People began to join in, not just to help the river, but to be part of something bigger than themselves. The girls' hard work and determination were inspiring, and their community began to rally around them. More and more people started to volunteer, and the movement gained momentum. It wasn't long before the river's transformation became a beacon of hope for the entire region. The impact of their actions was profound. The river began to flourish, and the community began to thrive. The girls had shown that grassroots movements could make a real difference, and their story inspired others to take action. Here's a social changer story with three law student girls, Chaitanya, Nirosha, and Kavya, working together on World River Day. 3 voices. One river, the story of change on the banks of the Godavari. Three law students, Chaitanya, Nirosha, and Kavya, stood in silence on World River Day. The river flowed gently, yet its waters carried pain, pollution, encroachments, and neglect. Chaitanya, always bold, reminded her friends of the Constitution. Article 51A, G, makes it our duty to protect nature. If not us, then who? Nirosha, thoughtful and determined, added the blue line and red line concepts must reach people's hearts. Only then will they stop treating rivers as dumping grounds. Kavya, full of compassion, said softly, "Rivers are mothers. If we dishonor them, we dishonor ourselves. Let's give our voice to her cry." Together, they started awareness drives in schools and villages. They organized Nadi Bachao Sabhas, explaining how the Namami Gange mission showed that government, people, and faith can unite for a river's revival. When illegal sand miners mocked them, the three girls carried the National Green Tribunal's (NGT) judgments in their hands. Speaking fearlessly in public, law is not against you. Law is for our survival. Their teamwork grew into a movement. Students, teachers, farmers, and shopkeepers joined. Slowly, the riverbanks cleaned up, and children once again played safely near the flowing water. Years later, people remembered Chaitanya's courage, Nirosha's clarity, and Kavya's compassion. They were not just law students anymore. They were called the daughters of the river, symbols of hope, action, and change. Three girls, one mission: to let the river live, so life itself may flow.